Yeah, you are now on the air with Chill Will on a podcast about something. Hi, how are you? I thought you had to find those. Oh, no, that was your charger. Yeah, I can tell I'm on speaker right now. I can hear it. I'm going to put you on speaker so that we can hear you. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, I'm looking for the headphones.
Okay, because, you know, someone told me the other day when I was on a podcast, they said, it's like you're not even ready. And, you know, I wonder if I could say that back to that same person. You wouldn't do it if it were you?
I don't know where these headphones are. Oh, here they are. They're right here by the computer.
Wow, that's a really good place for them.
Yeah, well, they were here from the last podcast. Hold on, I can plug you in. So I saw this on an Instagram comment today. Oh, you know what's bad is that when I plug you into the headphones, I have to unplug you from the charger.
Oh, you got one of those stupid phones. Oh, you need the dongle with a little double piece.
I need a double dongle. That's what I need. Hold on.
Do you have one?
No. No, I barely got the external mic working here. I'm proud of that.
Yeah, I'm proud of that too.
So I have you at 13%. That could be enough.
Yeah, you got a new phone. That might be enough. Hello?
Yeah, but I don't like being on the air right now because I didn't like how that first episode was a lot of my downfalls. So,
yeah, well, so far we only have 2 minutes and 29 seconds of your downfalls. In today's episode 5. Hello?
Yeah, I'm still getting set up. You called me, and I've been working on that bike I told you, so.
Can't you how long did it take you to set up? It takes me 20 seconds.
Well, you got a different setup than I do.
What are you actually doing right now?
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, right now we're all listening to you on speaker talking about
Well, we're on
your dongle.
the air. We're on the air now. We're on
Yeah.
the air.
Oh, I told you as soon as I called you, you're on the air. Oh yeah.
Well, I have you on the air now as well.
But it still sounds like I'm on speaker.
No, you're not on speaker. You are in the headphones. The external mic is working. You're on the air.
Okay, then I'm gonna take you off my speaker. All right, you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay, I hear ya.
So, I had a friend of mine listening to the podcast.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna need to cut you off there. I need to mention that today's podcast is sponsored by Beef-a-Reeno. Continue.
Beef-a-Reeno. Enjoy the beef.
I'm so keen-o. What a delicious cuisine-o.
Beef-a-Reeno.
Beef-a-Reeno. Right. That's who's sponsoring today's podcast number 5.
I'm so keen-o on Beef-a-Reeno. What a delicious cuisine-o, fit for king and queen-o.
And now you may continue
I'm
with your
glad.
short anecdote.
I'm glad that we have a sponsor already because, you know, the residual should be nice from Beef-a-Reeno.
Yeah, I looked into it. When the person called me, the contact from Beef-a-Reeno said, look here. That's the first thing they said. They said, look here. We might be going out of business, but we'll sponsor you and we'll pay you in cans of extra large Beef-a-Reeno.
That's fine with me. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I looked at our other sponsor options and that was the best one.
So I had a friend of mine listening to the podcast, and after, she was actually laughing, I think only because she knew me during the whole setup process. But after the whole setup process was over and we started talking, and she realized that there was a lot of Seinfeld discussion, I said, well, yeah, you know, that's a podcast about something, so it's not about nothing. So it's not just about Seinfeld. But she goes, do I need to know quite a bit about Seinfeld to enjoy it? I said, well, no. I said, you know, episode 1, the blood, you know, it's really about other stories in our life. I said, we tie Seinfeld in. But a great consequence to her listening in on the podcast was that she was inspired to then go watch Seinfeld afterwards.
Wow, if only we could be sponsored by them, but they're kind of not on the air anymore.
But they're live, but they're just not on the air.
No, they're not live, they're rerunning.
They're live on the air. We're live on the air.
Oh yeah, I got the little blinking light that just says live right now in my studio.
They're just on the air.
I got another light right next to the live one that just says in transit.
I could tell you were in transit because I heard you shuffling. And
that's because I dropped something, though.
Again, I'm in the studio.
Yeah, but look how long it took you to get ready in your studio. I'm in transit. I'm locked and loaded. We're live and we're in transit. We are just cruising along at a comfortable 57 miles per hour Eastern Standard Time.
Well, let me tell the listeners this, that I am constantly
What about the viewers?
Not ready.
Are you just going to abandon them?
Don't need to,
we got 21 of them.
They don't need to know. The viewers don't need to know this. Only the listeners.
Oh, this better be good.
That when the podcast, quote unquote, starts, it's not up to me. The DJ Chill Will is the one who makes the outgoing call. I just accept I accept the incoming call. So I'm not making the call to start the thing. Why don't I call you?
So it's like an importer-exporter.
What does he do?
He's an importer.
Just imports, no exports?
He's an importer-exporter, okay?
Yeah, but you see what I'm saying here is that you're the one that is set up and then makes the call, and I'm over here. What? I have no idea when you're calling.
I don't think you have any idea what you're doing. I think that's the problem.
Well, I've been trying to adjust.
You're over here trying to plug in a dongle, but you can't plug in 2 dongles to one hole. It's just a tough life over there.
Well, I'm over here trying to adjust these brakes on a 1999 giant Rincon. I believe named after the tropical city.
Really? In Puerto Rico? Wow. There's not much biking I saw happening there, but okay.
Well, it's a mountain style bike, so I think that maybe giants were biking through the rainforest and the waterfalls and the tropical environment in Rincon. I said, you know what? I'm going to name this 1999 model.
I'm sorry. I got to tell you something. I just witnessed here in transit on in our studio. A man, I believe, was walking down the street, and he had taped to his face a series of masks and gauze, so that at first look, it looked like I was looking at a junky Santa Claus. But then when I drove right past, I could see that there were at least 6 different types of masks and gauze taped together. Like even the forehead had one, just covering part of the forehead. The ears had one. And there was like a regular mask that had 2 masks taped on the left and the right side of it as well. One of the strangest things I've seen today.
So this is a consequence of paranoia due to the coronavirus? Like he can't just wear one mask? Do you think that's it?
I don't know. I think it is it's a consequence of diminishing brain cells is my guess. Because even the way he was walking looked like someone who had never actually done it before and just seen it on TV.
So I wrote down one thing to talk to you about. So last time you had written down horseradish.
Correct, and we discussed
it. So I wrote down my series of words to discuss. I wrote bottled water, comma, back on the wagon.
Oh no, are you really?
That's just what I wrote down. I'm gonna discuss with you.
Are you really back on the wagon?
Yeah, he's been off the wagon 2 years.
Off the wagon?
I think it's off the wagon.
I think it's on the wagon.
I was.
Oh no!
I was off the wagon.
This is awful news.
I was off the wagon. Right?
Oh, I don't like this.
No. But let me tell you what occurred for me to have to get back on the wagon.
Oh, someone scared you somehow. They touched the lip of your cup or something. What did they do?
No. So what had happened?
Did they spit in your general vicinity?
No. And what had happened was there was a case of bottled water sitting by the trash can at my complex.
Okay.
So, being an American picker, as I were.
Oh, so you are on the picking team?
I'm on the picking team.
Okay, so you accepted the opportunity.
Not with Best Buy, but with sort of the general environment where I can now go pick. I am on the picking team.
And I'm not here just defending myself, but all those pickers out there have been caught. If we pick, do we not bleed?
Okay.
So I picked it. I plucked it right from, it was sitting there, and I'm not sure if maybe someone wasn't able to carry the rest of their goods inside, but I carried it into my car, said it was a brand new case of water, and I had no intention of using it personally because for a couple years now, I have been off the wagon, okay?
Following.
But, as it were, a few days had gone by, and I had, at various stoplights, handed off the bottled water to, homeless people at the stoplights, and I tried to give it to people that were in need here and there, and I had it right there, easily accessible in my back seat. But as it were, I was outside, Florida summer, August 22nd, the year of our Lord, 2020.
Okay.
And I was back on the wagon in just a blink of an eye. And now I'm having a hard time getting off the wagon because I still have 14 bottles left. And when I broke that seal, that protective barrier that the companies put on, and you hear that friendly little click knowing that you're the first person to click that cap over, I was hooked.
So you're not only on the wagon, you're hooked.
I'm hooked.
Oh no.
I know. So I have 14 left. I'm hoping and praying, and maybe some of the viewers can help me stay off the wagon.
Oh, so now you want to pander to the viewers. Earlier you just let them go.
Well, I want some of the viewers to help me get off the wagon.
Yeah, you need some help. I had gotten you off the wagon, 5 years ago? I mean, because you still remember that tap water is regulated better than bottled water. In addition, a lot of the problems with bottled water is that they will go into places that already is giving tap water from that source, and they'll just say, well, we're going to bottle this, and we're going to sell it back to you for maybe, you don't have to pay for it. We're going to charge you $2 every bottle, whereas normally you wouldn't have to pay anything for this water, and if you can't afford it, too bad.
And
there's a lot of problems with it.
And we won't go into into the biggest reason probably is the plastic usage.
Right, and also, yeah, I mean, you know that a lot of these plastics they use, they're so thin that even just sunlight degrades the plastic, so you're drinking some plastic while you're getting water, almost certainly. Whereas, and that's not good. That's worse for you than mango, I'll tell you that. And if you had just poured it from the tap and poured it into a glass or into some metal bottle or something, you wouldn't be having these things enter your system.
I know. By the way, I'm glad I have the windscreen on the microphone. I knew you had sort of poked at me the other day about it, but it's windy outside, and I don't know if the sealant to the door is cutting all the wind out, so I think with the windscreen on the microphone, it's definitely adding some audible protection to the viewers and the listeners.
That's good. Yeah, I'm actually going to use some of that wind right now.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking you might. But it's a little late in the day to go windsurfing, right?
It's a little what?
Late in the day?
I can go any time of day.
Well, you know, I guess I've lived by a different schedule for the past 5 or 6 years, and you know, 4:30, I'm starting to turn in.
Yeah, that's when you get your dinner.
Well, I actually just had dinner right before the podcast. I had made it.
The early bird. Oh, really? What'd you have?
The early bird special.
Wow. Missed the early bird.
Yeah? So?
Must be nice to have that kind of money. Ernie, look who's eating at 6 o'clock.
I had a grilled cheese.
Was it under $5? You can't beat that.
Can't beat it. No, I had made my own grilled cheese, and...
Wow. Don't tell me you used American cheese. I bet you did, didn't you?
No. What do I look like, a farmer?
You know, you told me one time you were a cheese connoisseur, but I feel like if someone handed you some American cheese, you'd eat it.
That doesn't negate the fact that I am a cheese connoisseur.
I think it definitely lends a little bit of problem to that claim.
Listen, I am so much
I'm listening.
I do say listen quite a bit, but I want to make sure that you are listening. So instead of...
Is that where it comes from? People are like, you're talking, you're like, they're not listening. Listen!
You know, when I was a kid, I would say, look it. And then I would talk.
Yeah, you still say that. You still say look it. Yeah.
But listen.
I am.
I am so much a cheese connoisseur, in fact, that I enjoy all cheeses, and if someone were to offer me a cheese that was potentially less than other cheeses, I am not going to let that cheese go by the wayside.
Okay. I hear that, but I have to add, American cheese is no longer a cheese like it once was in the 70s and 60s.
It's a blend.
It is now. If you read it, they call it a cheese food product, and those 3 words are in quotation marks. Cheese food product, because it's not actually a cheese anymore. So, as a connoisseur, I kind of expected you to know that.
Well, anything with cheese in it, I'm in. Toe cheese.
Cheese Whiz, you're in.
Cheese Whiz is one of my favorite cheeses.
It's the Whiz. Nobody beats it.
Nobody beats me because I'm the Whiz. Yes, I'm the Whiz. I'm the Whiz.
You know, you had told me once that, by the way, you know, you do have a lot of strong accents and voices that you do. But I was feeling really on top of my game when you said that I did a really great Jack Klompus.
Oh, you did do a great Jack Klompus, and that's true.
I'm hoping that
I wouldn't tell you if it wasn't true.
I'm hoping the listeners will hear that one day. But as you know, and as many know, when you're doing voices, you kind of have to get into it.
Yeah, you got to get into it.
You got to get into it. So you had some good trivia for me. Are we going into the trivia section, or did you have a story?
First, there were some things I wanted to discuss with you, but yeah, I have some damn good trivia.
Okay, what do you want to discuss?
Like, I have ranges of trivia. I did my homework this time. Last time, I kind of procrastinated. What is that strange noise?
So what do you want to discuss?
Hold for 1 second. Our studio is emitting a noise, and we have to figure out what it is and make it stop.
Now, I hope the listeners understand that this is, in fact, the problem.
Who sent you?
With the mobile studio.
What in the world? Oh, got it. Okay, it was related to our in-studio air conditioning, so now it's getting hot in here.
Yeah, in-studio air conditioning.
Because I turned it off.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the implication.
Well, in-studio air conditioning is a necessity.
Yeah, and it's getting hot. The heat index said that it was going to be 107 today. So as soon as I turned it off, I instantly felt really hot, and I think I'm already starting to sweat.
Okay, well, I don't know if that's going to affect the
actually.
quality of what you want to discuss. I hope it doesn't. But I'm so far happy with my in-studio AC.
Oh yeah, it's like an ice box in there.
It's an ice box.
I've been in your studio.
It is.
It's a nice studio.
Thank you.
Oh, here's one thing I wanted to bring up, and you might get this, but I didn't. So I was staying with a friend in Gainesville last week, and they have a cat. No, 2 cats. The number really isn't important, but I wanted to be truthful.
Well, one cat is too many.
Yeah, but 2 cats is the truth.
Sure.
Yeah. So anyway, I was sitting on the couch. Oh, and I kind of had an experience like what you might go through, but less severe. You'll understand in a second, of course. And I was sitting on the couch, and the cat was just hanging out. This was like they call it the mama cat, because the other cat was its baby. And the mama cat was hanging out. It enjoyed my presence or whatever. And while it's hanging out with me, the owner of mama cat said, I wasn't really paying full attention, full disclaimer, but she said something, and she ended up saying cat scratch fever, and that drew my attention, so I started listening. And she said at one point a cat scratched her, and she got cat scratch fever, and it's a real thing.
Oh yeah.
And I said,
oh yeah.
What?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so that's what I was gonna think. You probably know about this because you're a cat owner. I didn't know about that. I thought it was just that racist guy that made the song.
Oh no, I know about
not the guy.
I know about cat scratch fever, not because I'm a cat owner, but because I'm a hypochondriac.
Okay, so granted, she just told me about cat scratch fever. I didn't even know it was a thing. She said she ended up having to go to the hospital for all this stuff. I was like, wow, that's pretty severe. And then the cat started trying to scratch my clothes. I said, get off. So I pushed it off, not violently, but just trying to send a message. And then later on, I get up to go get something, and I look down at my right thigh, and there's like a big scratch. Like it's probably, I mean, I can still see it because it's healing, but it's probably 3.5 inches, and it goes across my thigh, and it started to bleed too.
Well,
and I went, oh no, and I started to get into your mindset. I go, she goes, oh, it's okay, cats scratch things all the time. I go, yeah, I remember that, but you also just told me about cat scratch fever. I don't want to take any chances. What can we put on this? She goes, oh, you don't need to put anything on.
Yes,
I go, yeah, we got to put something on it.
You got to put something on. Now, this is coming from the herbalist that said you don't need to put anything on it.
Yeah. Oh, I told you that? She's trained in Chinese medicine?
Yeah, I mean, when I'm in my head, I'm picturing a Chinese herbalist.
Right, and she said I didn't need to do it, but I had just heard about cat scratch fever, so I was going to do something.
So at this point in time, if this is happening to me, I'm outside, half naked, spraying hydrogen peroxide over not just the infected area, but the rest of me that is now going into shock.
Right, and fortunately I was not you, but she kept saying, we don't need to do anything. I was like, I would like to do something. So eventually I convinced her to put this rubbing alcohol on it, and I rubbed it down, and then I felt better.
You gotta rub it down.
And yeah, so then, but she said, you know, cat scratch fever is only if they have this bacteria or whatever. And I said, look, I know about this, but you just finished telling me about how you had to go to the hospital, and I'd rather not.
So let me tell you about something that happened to me a couple days ago.
Okay, I'm gonna listen to this one.
So are you listening?
Yeah, I don't know if I can look it, but I'll listen.
All right, listen to this. So I am moving into a new apartment. I think I told you, right?
A few times.
So I'm moving in this week coming up on Tuesday, the 25th. So we'll have a new studio.
Congrats.
And I visited the leasing office on Saturday, yesterday, and I said, look, you know, I said, listen, look it, I'm moving in on Tuesday. When's the earliest I can get my keys so I can move in, everything like that? She goes, oh, we normally do move-ins at 3 p.m. I said, oh, that makes sense.
Wait.
I said, is that so?
That makes sense.
Well, we lost Will.
What?
He's no longer on the phone.
Just lost the call. Calling
Hopefully
back.
He calls back in.
Oh, battery probably died. Oh no. Alright, we're gonna put a hold on the podcast. Try to pick up where we left off, talking about the moving into the apartment.
This is the problem, everyone, with having a mobile studio, is that calls will drop like this, and your co-host is having to re-call back in. So, let's see.
Wait, is your phone dead?
No, my phone's not dead. I was just telling the listeners that this is probably because you have a mobile studio.
No, I have full bars, and I tried calling you back 3 times in a row.
And each time it instantly went straight to a voicemail.
No, my phone didn't die. I was in the middle of my riveting story, and then it just...
Yeah, about moving in, you said, they said you have to move in at 3 p.m., and you said, oh, that makes sense.
That makes sense, yeah. So we're back. We're back here.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad we're back. I thought I was going to have to delay the whole podcast. Yeah, carry on, please.
Yeah, so we're back. I have to move in after 3 p.m. I told her, I said, in my head, I said, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Like, why, when you move, you normally want to get it done early in the day, get everything set up after you bring everything in. So I just asked her, I said, why after 3 p.m.? She said, oh, it lets us handle everything here. And I said, what are you handling? And she goes, well, we got to get everything ready. And I said, what are you getting ready? She goes,
yeah, aren't you the one moving in?
Yeah, so I said, what are you getting ready? And she said, everything. I said, well, if you don't have everything ready by 8 a.m., what's going to change to 3 p.m.? Like, is the apartment not there? Like, is there not carpet in there? You know, does the door not open? Like, what's not ready? Everything.
I don't know if it's my studio or yours. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you.
Hello.
Hello.
Uh-oh. Getting 1 bar. Down to 1 bar here.
I'm here.
Hello?
Hello. I'm here.
Uh-oh. This is not good.
Hello. I'm gonna put you on speakerphone so the listeners can hear that I can hear you just fine and I'm talking.
Okay, here's a problem. Now I'm suddenly at 1 bar. I think it's because there's a big raging storm.
I want everyone to take note. This is a problem of having a mobile studio.
Call ended that I'm driving through. Big raging storm.
Well, we lost him again.
Oh, now I have full bars? See, this is what I don't understand. I'm gonna try to turn off the phone and turn it back on.
To be continued's on TV. It's horrible when you sense the to be continued coming. You know, you're watching the show, you're into the story, then there's like 5 minutes left, and suddenly you realize, hey, they can't make it. Timmy's still stuck in the cave. There's no way they wrap this up in 5 minutes.